What's up, guys? Today's January 6th. Justin could not be here tonight. He's watching National Championship at his house. This is also a good double as my live reactions to the NCAA Championship. There is 10:55 left. So I'm not going to be doing that a whole lot, but if something crazy happens, you're going to see it. But also, let's get to this review because old school Raw means I rock the Vader shirt. And stay tuned for more. So we got to start off the show with Ric Flair because everyone knows Ric Flair is going to be there. And when you know what's coming, you can't be like, okay, well, when's Flair going to be there? When's Flair going to be there? You have to roll him out at the start. You have to. So, not mad about it. He comes out and he talks his little nature boy stuff. Then Orton comes out and starts talking all this Orton stuff. You know, like, I'm better than you are. I could go wrestle in your time easily. Actually, yes, you could, and it would have been great because that's. I mean, if you think about like that style of what Randy Orton does back in the '90s, would have been crazy. I mean, obviously, because stuff's been more advanced and stuff like that. But his timing, if you take that back to any time, he would have had some classics, especially with some of the talent that was going around back then. You had Steamboats, you had the Stings, you had Flair. I mean, I'm just gonna continue naming guys. I mean, you had the Hart family, you had Brett Owen, you had Dynamite Kid, you had all the guys going crazy stuff in Japan, you had Young Jericho, you had British Bulldog. I mean, Hogan. I mean, yeah, Hogan wasn't exactly a technical masterpiece guy. That would have been good. Macho Man, you name it. A lot of guys back in the day would have been great matchups with Orton, which is why we all pop for old school Raw because wrestling's the one sports entertainment, I guess sport entertainment, I don't know what you say, where like there's the dream matches and it's like a kind of possibility, but you might see some action and you might see some stuff and it clicks the endorphins in your mind and you go back to the great time. And then Cena comes out and makes a save to end this segment. Going back to the segment was whatever, but I just thought about a potential Orton versus Flair match back in the late '80s, probably in Chicago, maybe at the Nassau Coliseum. Wouldn't have got over well for good old Randy in North Carolina. It would maybe throw Dusty down there, put him Florida. But I mean, that's the level of person that Randy Orton is, and that's why this was a better Raw than the stuff that actually happened was. So coming up next, this is another thing that was very solid for what's going on. They're continuing this Daniel Bryan as part of the Wyatt family thing, and he came out in the gear. He looked like a janitor who ripped the sleeves off. So he was just chilling, and they had a match, and the Wyatt family lost in the six-way match against the Usos and Ray, and it was actually some miscommunication stuff. And the cinematography of when Daniel Bryan is on the ground going to the first commercial break, and uh, sorry, this is going to be really distracting, so I'm going to put it on mute. So the cinematography was fantastic because he's sitting there on the ground, and you can see right behind him in like the far frame of the camera, he's where my hand is, and the far backside is where Bray is, and he's sitting there on the rocking chair looking concerned. And that's the kind of small stuff that most of the time doesn't really get a whole lot of shine anywhere, but it really helps drive the point across subliminally. I picked it up obviously because I got that elite wrestling mind, but subliminally it's something that they do a lot and that works out pretty good for them. But they end up losing the match. It sets up more of a storyline thing. I'm not really all that concerned with it. Um, we'll see where this goes. I mean, I have no idea where it's going, so I'm not going to even try to prognosticate this one, guys. We're along for the ride on this one. After that, there was a backstage segment, and Maddox and Brad Maddox and Kane interacting for a little bit. Maybe they're setting up Kane to be the super smart guy in the back. I don't know what they're doing there. But Big E walks by and sees Nikolai Koloff, Ted DiBiase, and IRS on his way out to the ring to fight Curtis Axel, who he beats with Ryback on commentary. And that little part from basically after that first match to really about there was kind of just going through the motions almost. And I don't know, it felt the Big E and Curtis Axel match really wasn't as good as what you'd want from your IC title, especially with the second title guy in there. But I don't know how much of it was him and how much of it was the fact that it was Curtis Axel, and I don't know. It didn't seem solid. I am not gonna pull punches on that. Call it like I see it. After that, the Shield and Piper's Pit was going on, and that was the first time. Whoa, that was a nice pass. He hit that right down the sideline. Jeez, that was the first. Sorry, that was the first time that really we saw Dean Ambrose, like the thing that makes everyone on the internet go nuts about him, because he was doing a lot of the subliminal things, he was shaking a little bit, and they were having this little promo interaction stuff between Piper and the Shield, where he was saying, "What if Roman wins? What does that do to the Shield?" And then you could see like Ambrose was going into Dean Ambrose mode, and it was pretty solid. And Piper's good; these guys are all good. And then they go to beat up Piper, and then Punk and the New Age Outlaws make the save, which sets up for later on in the show tonight, obviously, because that's why they would make the save. Del Rio beats Sin Cara. The next thing comes from on Batista, and if they're doing that, along with what we'll soon talk about, I'll save my opinions on any potential Del Rio versus Batista thing. That would come in about 2 minutes probably. I'm about to get to the rest of the stuff. Wyatt's backstage. We find out that Daniel Bryan's teaming with Bray next week. Maybe they're going to make a run for the tag belts. I hope not. I mean, it doesn't make sense. It didn't make sense the first time we did it with Kane. But regardless, here we are. I don't know. Once again, we got to let this one ride out. But, I mean, I guess he's part of the family. He's part of the family. But if they make a run for the tag belts and hold those for a long time, I'm not going to be a happy camper. The Rhodes defeat the Real Americans in a match we've seen a couple times already. It's not all that new, not all that concerned. I mean, it's not something that I'm all that concerned with. It's whatever to me. I mean, it's solid. It's been solid every time. It's going to continue being solid. That's not something that really. It's a good filler. It's not something that's going to main event. It's not something that's going to start the show. But you put it in the middle. It's not the worst thing. After that, we had DDP backstage with Booker T. He pitches DDP yoga, and then Ron Simmons comes out and says, "Damn!" After some yoga stuff happens. I had never done yoga, but DDP, my boy. Whoa, Masonic, didn't mean to do that. Self high five. But after that, we got the Great Khali against Damien Sandow, and Sergeant Slaughter was the ref. Khali won. Slaughter hit Sandow with the Cobra Clutch. Not all that crazy. It happens all the time. Slaughter being the ref is what I mean by saying it happened all the time. It's just what it always is. That's just who their legend is. They always roll out. After that, Brock Lesnar comes out and cuts a promo, and Mark Henry comes out, and then he gets Kimura. Sorry, when Brock promo means Paul Heyman was talking about Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar business that we have no business knowing about. And Paul Heyman puts pauses in his speech to make you go crazy and to accentuate random things. And it is like nails on a chalkboard. And that was my Paul Heyman impression. But Mark Henry came out after Brock was talking about his Brock stuff, and then boom, he gets put in the Kimura, and then Big Show comes out and beats up Brock Lesnar. So if they bring back Batista and they bring back Brock to fight Del Rio and the Big Show respectively, I might have to stop doing these sorts of things, because every review would be an hour long about why it's the worst idea and why I don't understand why they have the biggest boner for Alberto Del Rio and the Big Show. They loved them to a fault, and it's been noted by their several terrible title runs that haven't done anything but lower ratings for the company, lower business, and make it so buy rates dropped, and they cannot be recovered from. And that's the fact of life. Take good, take bad, take it all. What do you have? The facts of life. After that, let's see. Lost place my notes. Oksana and Alicia Fox defeat the Bella Sluts. In honor of Marvelous Mark, we'll call them the Bella Sluts. Bella Sluts. That was an old Off the Rope Show joke. They'd always have Marvelous Mark talk about the Divas, and he'd always call them the Bella Sluts. But, I'll tell you this. They were in this during halftime of the National Championship, and it was not a good idea to do that, Because if someone's flipping over and they see that, they're not going to stay. Nope. Click, 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 click. All day, every day. I mean, that's just that's just my opinion on that. I don't have the actual numbers in front of me. Maybe their Divas matches draw crazy, but if so, why would they not do more? Anyway, that was me going on for way too long about that. I don't care if the Bella Twins lost. There's no real Divas storyline conflict besides what AJ's doing with the championship, but I don't know. After that, Too Cool return, and I did the worm in my basement and pulled my hamstring because I used to be fast and now I am washed up. That's a fact of life again, and doing the worm is not all that fun when you're 22 years old. It's a lot more fun when you're 14. But I still marked out hard, bros. Rikishi, bro. It was nice. They defeated 3MB with Rikishi hitting a bonsai drop or something like that. I don't really know exactly what the term was, but he landed on Jinder? Drew? I don't know, somebody. And then they hit their dance moves. And I marked out hard when the worm hit W-O-R-M, because those are my guys. I don't know why. I mean, looking back, it was like they're obviously parodies of like. I mean, looking back, they weren't like serious things. I don't know. I have no idea why. As a fan, I thought they were as a kid, I thought they were the coolest things ever. But here they are, and I still pop. I still mark. So I have no idea what anything to do with any gimmicks are from here out. I am no longer your expert opinion on stuff like that. And he hit the high field goal. I hate him. Setting for a field goal here, but whatever. Oh, it's gonna end up being 27-24, isn't it? Oh, sorry. Gotta get through this. New Age Outlaws come out and introduce CM Punk, who's donning a Rivera jacket for the main event tonight, where he's fighting Roman Reigns. And I popped because nothing's as old school more than Rivera jackets. After that, the Shield came down, and Roman and Punk had a solid. It was good. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, well, the technicality of it had some good stuff at the start, and then it really started to fall apart. And then the ending I didn't agree with. I thought it was good. I'll throw it out there. I liked Punk's elbow drop. I think on Old School Night he made sure he didn't mess up the elbow. I think he just proved to everyone that he can do the elbow whenever he wants. He does it on purpose to mess it up on purpose just to mess with people. Because his elbow tonight was perfect. He really brought it good today. And then, of course, since there's 6 guys out there, it's going to end in a crash out. Roman Reigns wins via spear. And then I think the 3 guys in the Shield are standing in the ring, or I'm not all that sure. But here comes Jake the Snake Roberts. And I slept in this shirt last night, not realizing that today was Old School Raw. So, because I slept in it, I don't want to wear it again because it smells like I slept in it. But Jake the Snake Roberts returned and brought out Damien and hit Damien and put Damien on top of Dean Ambrose. And that's how it ended, and that's how it should end on Old School Raw. Yeah. I marked out a lot, bros. I mean, there was 2 big omissions in my mind. I hope they're saving them both for the Rumble, because they both have been talked about. And you know what? I think it's time. And I'm not going to even tip you guys off on that, because I don't even want. I mean, it's one of those things where it's not like I think it's going to help them out all that much. I don't think that at all. But at the same time, I don't care about. I don't have any stake in WWE's success. So I'm just gonna. It entertains me talking about wrestling. I'm not here to do anything else with that. So I'm going to talk about what entertains me the most, and that would be the return of Hulk Hogan. We put on the do-rag. Actually, while I'm doing this, you are ready to see me mark out about the return of Hulk Hogan, brother. Brother, hit the subscribe button. Like this video. Actually, just like this video, because I'm right now wearing a do-rag / biker gang rag / whatever you want to call this. And I'm either more white or less white than I was when I started. The capes are out now. Regardless, like this video, subscribe if you haven't. We do weekly Raw reviews, and apparently we're going to do more stuff every now and again. Not really sure. Take care. Spike your hair. Woo woo woo. You know it. At least my team. At least my. Oh, if you watched our NFL playoff predictions, at least my team did not get eliminated in the first round.